Dinosaurs have been extinct for thousands and possibly millions of years ago, but there are some creatures on Earth today which actually roamed the planet along with the dinosaurs. From carnivorous swimming tanks to giant salamanders, in this video you will see 8 terrifying prehistoric creatures that are still around us. Number 8. Goblin Shark. Are you ready not to sleep tonight? Well, we think no. Goblin shark is a deep-sea creature that usually lived at the bottom of the ocean along continental shelves. Spotted mostly off the coast of Japan, they're named for their likeness to the mythical goblins that appear in Japanese folklore. Its most distinctive characteristic is the really strange shape of its head, as it has a very long trowel or spatula that actually looks like a horn, but trust us, this shark is not a unicorn, it's totally real. That kind of horn is very useful for prey in the very dark waters because the shark uses the electrosensitive organs inside it to sense the presence of its prey. Only the goblin has a jaw that extends and whips forward. Another thing that makes them unique is the color of their skin, which is mostly pink. In addition, these animals can grow 12 feet and weigh up to 460 pounds. They've been around since the Middle Eocene, which means they survived alongside megalodons. For context, the megalodon was a great white shark the size of a bus, one of the largest and most terrifying marine predators ever to exist. It did not survive, the goblin shark did. Number 7. Giant river stingray. We're sorry to inform you that this isn't a photoshopped or modified picture, and yes, in fact, it is a 16-foot-long stingray. They are known to prowl river systems in Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, and Indonesia, often burying themselves in sandy or silted river bottoms. Although stingrays do not readily attack humans, they are one of the few megafishes that can pose a real danger to those who handle them. Each ray has a sharp barb on the base of its tail that can easily penetrate human skin and bone, much like a hunting arrow. This stinger can be as long as 15 inches and typically induces toxins to the victim's wound. Experts, however, stress that the rays are non-aggressive and inquisitive. They locate its prey, usually clams and crabs, with sensors located around their mouth that can detect an animal's electrical field. The giant river stingray is an abomination faxed directly to us from the Jurassic era 100 million years ago. See, we don't need a team of scientists to bring dinosaurs back from the Jurassic. They are already here. Number 6. Frilled shark. The frilled shark has been terrorizing the oceans for at least 95 million years, looking something like a dragon that was bitten by an eel that was also a zombie for some reason. It is considered to be one of the world's most bizarre-looking creatures on the planet. It usually lives in the open ocean and spends much of its time in deep, dark waters far below the sea surface. The frilled shark's mouth is just as terrifying as the maw of a great white. It's lined with 25 rows of backward-facing trident-shaped teeth, 300 in all. Their victims don't stand a chance. In fact, they can distend their mouths open and eat things that are more than half their body length, and then its digestive system also expands like snakes do. Basically, they're just giant floating stomachs with a chainsaw at one end. And as if its teeth weren't freaky enough, the frilled shark has spines called dermal denticles lining its mouth. So if you happen to see one of these anywhere, it's better to look and not touch. Number 5. Alligator gar. Alligator gars have been around for 100 million years and strike fear in the hearts of anything that is afraid of large animals with hundreds of sharp teeth. These guys have no relation to alligators, but with its wide crocodilian head and razor-sharp teeth, it's easy to see how this giant fish got its name. The prehistoric relatives of the species first appeared 157 million years ago and inhabited many parts of the world. Today, however, gars live only in North and Central America. They can live in brackish and even salt water, but they prefer the sluggish pools and backwaters of large rivers, swamps, bayous, and lakes. Alligator gar can grow up to 10 feet long, and according to historical reports, suggest it may grow to weigh nearly 350 pounds. This makes it the largest fish species in North America that spends almost all its time in freshwater. Besides its razor-sharp teeth, they also have pointed and hard scales that are big enough to be used as arrowheads. Its primitive lungs allow alligator gar to live for hours out of the water, which is exactly what you don't want to happen, isn't it? As a curious data, although they don't pose any threat to humans, and there aren't any known attacks on people, however, its eggs are poisonous to humans if ingested. They have a toxicity which serves as a defense mechanism against predators such as crustaceans. Number 4. Giant Chinese salamander. Taking part in the list of real animals most resembling a Pokemon, giant salamanders have been plotting for about 30 million years, which means they are a living fossil, having seen the dinosaurs come and go, and it is currently the largest amphibian on the planet. Sleek and mysterious, this creature lives underwater, yet doesn't have gills. It absorbs oxygen through its skin. It is capable of growing 6 feet in length, weighing over 140 pounds, and living as long as your grandparents. Fortunately for us, they are the one creature on this list least likely to devour you and everything you care about, being nearly blind and feeding mainly on smaller salamanders, worms, and crayfish. Researchers have found that there isn't one, but at least 5 species of Chinese giant salamander, and possibly up to 8. In fact, some researchers believe that some of these newly identified species are already extinct. However, these amphibians are critically endangered due to overharvesting for human consumption, as they are considered to be luxury food, apart from their habitat loss and water pollution. Number 3. Triops. This creature reminds us of the typical genetically engineered parasite which has been created in a lab and escape. But no, triops have been haunting our waterways since the Triassic period, about 200 million years ago. They can be found in Africa, Australia, Asia, South America, Europe, including Great Britain, and in some parts of North America where the climate is right. However, they can live everywhere, including your room, as their long-lasting resting eggs are commonly sold to kids as a pet to be raised in an aquarium. Other human uses include ally against the West Nile virus, as the individuals consume Sulex mosquito larvae, and pest control in Japan, eating weeds in rice paddies. Most triops have a life expectancy of up to 90 days, and they are excellent predators. They feed on smaller animals living in ponds, such as Daphnia or mosquito larvae. The name triops comes from the Greek tria, meaning 3, and ops, meaning eye. So the surface of its head bears a pair of dorsal compound eyes that lie close to each other and are nearly fused together, and there is a third eye between them. So it's perfect for those of you whose idea of the perfect pet is like sea monkeys, but evil. Number 2. Lamprey. Lampreys are so old, evolutionarily speaking, that they are barely considered vertebrates and hardly even fish. They have been around since well before the dinosaurs, and with 360-million-year-old fossils looking remarkably like modern lampreys, they are said to be the oldest vertebrates. These eel-like scaleless animals range from about 6 to 40 inches long. They have well-developed eyes, 1 or 2 dorsal fins, a tail fin, a single nostril on top of the head, and 7 gill openings on each side of the body. Lampreys begin life as burrowing freshwater larvae. At this stage, they are completely blind and have no teeth. They bury themselves into the sand and they stay there at the river bottom for up to 7 years. Then they move into the sea as a new changed fish. Their gill holes are fully formed and now they can see. Besides, they have grown an important set of teeth rings which allows them to begin a parasitic life, attaching to a fish by their mouths and feeding on the blood and tissues of the host. One lamprey kills about 40 pounds of fish every year. However, not all lampreys spend time in the sea. Others are landlocked and remain in freshwater. As a curious data, some countries like Finland, South Korea, and Sweden consider the blood-sucking spineless wormfish a delicacy. Number 1. Crocodile. Crocodiles are built to last. Of all of the reptiles alive today, crocodiles may be the least changed from their prehistoric forebears of the late Cretaceous period over 65 million years ago. Although the even earlier crocodiles of the Triassic and Jurassic periods sported some distinctly uncrocodile-like features, such as bipedal postures and vegetarian diets. That means that animals that were almost identical to the ones you can see today existed alongside dinosaurs. Even in the days of the gigantic dinosaurs, crocodiles were one of the most feared animals, or at least one of its ancestors, the huge Razanodrongobi sakalave. This animal, also known as Razana, measured 23 feet long and weighed as much as 2,200 pounds. Fossil evidence unearthed in Madagascar indicates that Razana was at the top of the food chain in the Middle Jurassic period 170 million years ago. One way in which prehistoric crocodiles were indeed more impressive than their terrestrial relatives was their ability as a group to survive the KT extinction event that wiped the dinosaurs off the face of the Earth 65 million years ago. Why this is so remains a mystery, though it may be an important clue that no plus-size crocodiles survived the meteor impact. Today's crocodiles are little changed from their prehistoric ancestors, a telling clue that these reptiles were and remain extremely well adapted to their environment. So we think that the age of the dinosaurs is over, but as you can see, you're wrong. If you take a look back through history, we have had everything, and sometimes it's pretty shocking these creatures have lasted so long. What is more interesting is that there are many other prehistoric animals that are still alive. Would you like to know them? Take a look at this video.